Good afternoon and welcome to Phases the Next Level. I'm your host, Valette Sunshine, and I'm so excited to be with you guys again. I just wanted to run a couple of things by you before I get into what I'm here for. Phases the Next Level will have their very next interview, and it's going to be all around weight loss. So, that's a touchy subject, so I hope you guys will tune into that on September the 15th with my very own guest, Victoria Payne. So, what I'm here today to talk to y'all about, as I promised, Unhinged. Unhinged. This is a must read if you're nosy like me. I am nosy and I want to know what's going on. So I got the book. Because, yes, I do follow politics to a degree. Not just hardcore, but when it's some juice and it's some tea, I want to know about it. And so my friends was like, okay, since you was bold enough to buy the book, you got to share. So I'm going to share. But I do want to say there is another guy on YouTube out of New York. I think he's amazing at telling this story. He does it to the core. He kind of cusses and he gets it's kind of rated R. How he explains it, and that's fine because he's good at what he does. So no, I'm not nothing against him. Actually, I watch him because he tells it really good. He keeps your attention, and he's good at what he does. He's like genuine. So I subscribe to him because I wanted to know when he was on because I love to hear him. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get into the book. First of all, I want to say that I am a semi-fan of Omarosa. And I don't know if people will look down on me for that or whatever, but that's okay. Let me tell you why I am. I know that we all live and we all make choices that everybody's not going to agree with. So everything that I do in my life, I'm not going to have 100% of everybody on board. So that's Omarosa. She just did what she had to do to make it in her life and to create a living for her, and she did it her way. But I'm really getting attuned to Omarosa is because Omarosa is still a human being, and she still had a family life prior to the White House and the media and all this stuff before anybody ever knew who Omarosa was. So in the prologue of the book, it talks about when General John Kelly came in and got her and took her to the situation. Well, first, what happened is General John Kelly's executive assistant, called Omarosa's assistant and said, I need to meet you. He needs to have a meeting with Omarosa in the Situation Room at 5 p.m. that day. Well, prior to that phone call, Omarosa had been on the phone with some girls, some other of her homegirls, and they was talking about how a tape. Well, she picked. No, let me back up. Let me tell the story right. She got on the phone and made a phone call and said, I think we're getting closer to the N-word tape being published. It's going to be public. And so they needed to look into it or whatever. And so I guess that got to General John Kelly, who said, Omarosa's this close to getting that tape. Ain't no telling what's going to happen, because in the White House, as it is, or as it's been spoken, is that they just kind of, all of them are not friends. They lie on one another. They backstab one another. The president's lying, and all kind of stuff is going on according to this book. And what we can already see, in the news and in the media. So no, we're not there. But when people are, now Omarosa's coming out, she's telling the truth now, what really is going on behind the scenes, and they just don't like each other. So her and General John Kelly wasn't really like homies. He never really had time for her because he really didn't care for her. But when it was time to let her go, he was all over it. Meet me in the Situation Room. The Situation Room is not for everybody. You can't take phones in there. It's the most secure room in the White House. And she mentions in the prologue that that's the room where where President Obama went to put his strategy together to get Osama bin Laden, that he executed well and did well. Thumbs up to my president, Barack Obama. You did it, buddy. And we were proud of you and still are proud of you. Anyway, so the Situation Room was nothing to play with. But when Omarosa got that call from her assistant, Omarosa went into protect mode. She wanted to protect herself, and she wanted to make sure that she had all her I's dotted and her T's crossed. And so that's what the prologue talks about, the day that she got let go and how they wouldn't let her out. It was a Christmas party going on, and the only way that she got out is they had to go out before her to make sure ain't nobody walking around, there's no traffic, to see her leave. And then they allowed her to her office to get some of her things out. And then they packed up her assistant's van and took them home, her and her husband home. And she was thinking, just everything gonna be okay when I talk to Donald, Mr. Donald, and we're gonna be fine. No, not really. So anyway, that's what's in the prologue. What I wanted to talk about. Then they talked about loyalty over logic. President Trump has been loyal to her and brought her up and gave her money and made her who she is today, and all these scenarios of how he was just all over her. And that's because she said she felt like she was in a cult. And so, yeah, you throwing those dollars in my face. What you want me to do? Oh, you want me to say it like this, or you want me to say it like this? However you wanted me to say it, massa. That's how she was. You give me the cheese, you give me the coins, give me the bag, and I'll do what you want me to do, and I won't talk bad about you. But at the end, they wanted, after they fired her, call her back and say, hey, since you got these tapes, you dropping tapes, what I need you to do is go ahead and sign this contract and come back to work for us. You don't have to come to work if you don't want to, but just take this $15,000 a month for a year. What is that, about $189,000 a year? We can get you close to what you're making in the White House. Just shut your mouth. We don't need you doing all this. And where them tapes? Take them tapes away is pretty much what they wanted to do. But anyway, so it's a bunch of mess in the White House. But because Omarosa did have a life before all of this, that's what got me connected with her. She came from poverty. And so I am proud of her as a Black woman, how she came from the bottom to the top. Started from the bottom, now we up. However that song go. That's what she did. She started from the bottom. They didn't have anything. Her father was murdered. He was beat to death at the age of 7. She was 7 years old, and there was 5 children. So it was 5 of them that her mama had to take care of. So her mom ended up having to go get 2 jobs. So they barely saw her mom, and they were on food stamps. And Omarosa kind of knew she was going to be somebody, but she didn't want to be on food stamps, and she knew she didn't want to live that life. But they were on food stamps, and they were a close-knit family, and they spent a lot of time together as family with their grandma. She had 2 sets of grandparents, like 62 first cousins or something like that. I mean, a big family, and they spent a lot of time together. And one night there was a fire, and their uncles, it was a bunch of adults there and kids there, and they was getting them out the house, and Omarosa had to be thrown out the window, and her uncle caught her. But there was a 3-year-old cousin that was in there, and they couldn't really get to her, but the firemen came, they got her out. And but she passed away, not from being burned from the fire, but from smoke inhalation. They tried to resuscitate her, and while they were trying to rescue the baby's mother was in the hospital having another baby. And so they had to go to the hospital and tell their mom that her baby died. So, and then Omarosa went, she went through stuff, and then like her brother, and they were very close. So I can't imagine somebody coming telling me my brother has been murdered. Her brother was in and out of juvenile facilities, and it was just a trying time, but she loved her brother, and she always worried about him. And then he was shot and killed, but she pressed on, and she fought through it, and she fought the good fight. And so she made a decision. I'm going to go to college, and I'm going to get these degrees, and I'm going to be somebody. She was a model. She was in the media. She went to college on a full ride. She played volleyball. She was human. She was human. And when we get, and her career took off, and she went to all black colleges, and she met people, and she ran into people that were close to people in the White House, and she worked for Bill Clinton and Hillary and all those people. So it wasn't just started that she worked in the White House. She was familiar with that. And so what happened, I think, with Omarosa is that the money and the career was taken off, and she was just blinded by that. And she knew Donald Trump was a billionaire, and she spoke it. I want to be a billionaire, and if I could go work for him and see how he operates. And let me tell you something, she has learned how to turn those corners like Donald Trump was. You want to play dirty, Donald Trump? Thanks for teaching me, because now I'm playing dirty. Every story that Omarosa has told and people's denied it, she said, oh, really? Roll the tape. Oh, really? That didn't happen? Roll the tape. And those people are on the tape. So I can't wait to get further in the book. That's about all really I wanted to share, is why I was a fan with her today. And then we'll get more in the book because my friends ask me to, only because my friends want me to share, not because I'm trying to be like the man on YouTube, because he's amazing. I can't be like him. I have to be me. And I was going to share the story. So anyway, if y'all can find him, and I'll share his name next time. I can't think of it. So then maybe y'all want to subscribe to him, because he's good at what he does. But anyway, I'll come back when I get further in the book, and we'll share what else goes on with Omarosa. But Omarosa, girl, I'm your home girl a little bit. Like that, a little bit. I don't know if everybody gonna let you back in like that, but because they said you should have ran a long time ago. But we'll see what happens in the book. You guys, happy Saturday. Don't forget about the phases the next level, the interview coming up September 15th, and another interview that's gonna be really kind of, you're gonna have to get your Kleenex for the interview that's after this one coming up. So we'll talk more about that later. You guys enjoy your long weekend. Happy Labor Day. Enjoy your days off, and we will see you soon. God bless you. Say your prayers. See you soon.